Hi guys, Andy here. Welcome back to Ultra High, and I'm hoping it's the last installment, but you never know how these things go. You all set? Vincent nodded and brought himself into the hallway, closing his door behind him. Let's grab Derek. They moved to the door next to them, but before Sophie could give it a knock, Derek opened the door. Let's go. He stepped into the hallway and looked around. Toby? We haven't stopped by yet. Is he coming? He might as well. He didn't say he wasn't, and the more bodies we have, the better. Fair enough. They walked to the opposite end of the corridor and gave Toby's door a knock. Ollie, there was no answer, and Sophie looked back to the boys. He say anything to you guys? No. Nope. She knocked again. Toby? There was no answer. Should we look for him? He obviously just didn't want to come. If he wanted to, he'd be waiting and ready. Yeah, I guess so. Should we just go to Kills then? Yeah. Sophie could feel the nervousness that hung between them like spider webs. Their movements were soft and quiet, and she could feel the apprehensive tension glued itself between her muscles. I can't read, not with this whole crappy text slow transition. I'm so sorry. And if you hear any bed creaking, that's me. I'm still in bed. I'm still trying to do this in one night. It hurts to move. What if we die? What if we die? That's my, lifelong goal at this point. While it looked the same, it was undeniable that Killian's shop felt wholly different that night. A palpable unease hung from the ceiling and swayed in front of them. Kill? They heard wrestling in the back, and soon Killian emerged before them, his arms wrapped awkwardly around a stash of metal scraps and tools. Oh, hey guys. Need some help there? Killian took a few more steps towards them and then opened his arms. Whew, there we go. This is all I could find that would be good for, He looked to them and scratched his temple. Monster hunting? Are we calling it monster hunting? Anyways, feel free to peruse at your leisure. It's mostly metal scraps. On the really sharp ones, I cut out a place for you to grip it and then just added some tape to make it easier to hold. Vincent bent down and grabbed the one that appeared to be the sharpest and tested its weight and feel. Should be pretty light. This is... His head dropped low and his voice sunk. This is serious, isn't it? You guys aren't joking? Sophie looked at him sternly. Yeah. Aren't you scared? Yes. I was thinking about coming, but... It's fine, Kel. We weren't expecting you to. Thanks. I kind of felt like a coward. Not telling DuPont is all we need from you. Yeah, I won't. Do you have a staff? As Sophie was sorting through the pile of makeshift weapons, she and the others slid to Derek. Huh? Like a wooden staff. Do you know what a bow staff is? Or a roku shakubu? No? I do training in martial arts since I was super little. I started with karate, but I've done a lot of training in bojutsu. If you have any kind of wooden rod or staff, the longer the better. Killian began walking towards the back of the shop again, but shouted back to Derek as he did. I've got a whole wall of wooden staff. Planks and boards, I think some stuff you're looking for too. Just give me a sec. Didn't know that about you. We've got a hardened warrior on our side. I mean, I've only ever used it in class, so... What belt did you get to in karate? Black? Well, shit. Oh, sorry, I'm good. Visibly spent, he ran back to the front carrying a long wooden staff and presented it to Derek. I have this. It's like taller than me, though. I could cut it down. It's perfect. It's weirdly perfect. Oh, well, sweet. Killian handed the rod to him. Oh, give us a little show. Twirl it around or something. You don't twirl it around. You hold it steady in two hands. He demonstrated the proper stance. Sophie wasn't sure if it made her feel safer. At the very least, Derek's body looked comfortable and familiar as he white-knuckled his new weapon. Sophie looked to the boys. She gripped her metal shard with a little confidence. The two stood in front of her, their defenselessness and exposure spelled out on their sunken faces. Sophie cleared her throat. We headed out then? Vincent nodded to her. Derek remained stoic. Thanks, Cole. We appreciate it. Let me know how it goes, hey? Yeah. The three of them took their leave. I'm scared. The silence was painful. Not the silence of the night. In fact, Sophie realized it produced a rather boisterous symphony, but the silence amongst each other. Sophie felt the bottom of her shoes meet the chilling asphalt and was unsettled by the thinness of her soles. I should have brought different shoes. She knew that Vincent and Derek didn't want to speak, or rather, couldn't. Both of them tried to force their way to the front of the group as a feigned showcase of bravery, but always managed to stay one step behind. Am I in front right now? The chorus of crickets sound their support, or their warnings, or their indifference. The air was cold and hard. It's like walking through stones. Sophie tried to retrace her steps from the previous night. When did Derek tickle me? Was it here? When did Vincent? She stopped herself. The creature could walk. It could have been beside them at any moment. It might not be here at all. Where are you? Ah. And that's all. A relief. Vincent placed his hand on her shoulder and released it to pull himself ahead. He was quiet in his gesture. Thank you. She watched him as he led the brigade forward. What if we die? She tightened her throat and drew the smallest breath. Guys? She wasn't sure if she had made a sound, but the boys turned to her, startled and pale. She raised her finger and pointed to the other side of the street. That's where it came from. They nodded in understanding. I'm scared. Get back! With great trepidation, but without delay, Derek struck the beast with the end of his staff. While from the contact came an audible cracking of flesh, the creature seemed unfazed. It let out a gratuitous howl, and then... You will never leave. What the fuck? With its intention fixed on Derek, Vincent lunged at it, severing its shoulder with his blade. He recoiled and let out a powerful scream. Instinct took over the beast, it seemed, and it whipped its arm to the side, flailing in the direction of the attack. Having withdrawn enough, the appendage cut through dead air until violently meeting the side of Sophie's head. For a moment, there was nothing black. It took a short while for her senses to return. Jesus Christ, that's actually really messing up my ears. She raised her weapon up and guarded her head as the sights and sounded faded back to her. You okay? She couldn't answer. Sophie? Her breath returned. Go! She knew she was speaking nonsense. Warm blood pooled at the edge of her temple and trickled down her face. Vincent let out another primal howl and stuck the beast's chest with his shiv, and Sophie could hear the tearing and cracking of tough cartilage under the blade. Without delay, the creature raised one of its throats and jutted outwards, connecting forcefully Vincent's chest. Vincent could not compete with the display of power. His hand was forced from the makeshift hilt, leaving the shard wedged in the beast's chest. He collapsed to the ground, his torso seized in an attempt to find breath. The wheezing that escaped him roused Sophie and filled her with an angered fear that had tightened her grip and rebuilt her focus. Her eyes did not waver from the monster. Vincent. Vincent saying something so we know. He was silent, but Sophie maintained her stance. The creature tugged itself forward and twisted to its steps until its stilts arched themselves over Vincent's body. Sophie, now! With 3 rapid thrusts, Sophie struck the beast's arm with the edge of her weapon. Her last slash cut deep, causing the creature to stomp haphazardly on the ground beneath it. Vincent, still on his back, covered his head with his forearms, trying to roll his way to safety. Vincent, move! Sophie watched as the beast raised its unharmed appendage high above Vincent's head. It took a moment to steady itself and align its shot. Vincent? It swung. The sound was deafening. Sophie undid herself from the recoiled ball she found herself in. Beside her lay the remains of their enemy. Its skin was pulverized and shredded and was spread across the pavement like a torn blanket. Its exposed bones were scattered and pieces of fat and tendons oozed across the street like pale slugs. Sophie was nauseous, but couldn't bring herself to look away. At the end of the trail of remains, a piece of flesh sat hovering above the ground, slowly sinking downwards as if it were splattered against a wall. She looked to the direction of the blast. Vincent uncovered his eyes. Matthias? What? Sophie couldn't rein in her thoughts. Matthias stood before them, visibly broken and exhausted, his arm extended in a sort of commanding gesture. She followed its path back to the suspended flesh. She stepped over and into the corpse's debris. In front of the hovering slab of skin, she reached her hand out and touched the space just above it. It was solid. She pressed harder. It was impenetrable. With the closed fist, she pounded on the invisible blockade. It protested by echoing her punches with hollow and metallic squeals. She turned back to look at the others. She wasn't sure why she expected to be met with some sort of comfort or explanations, but she was met with neither. Their faces were still and shocked. Vincent propped himself up with his hands and their eyes met, complete defeat written on both of their faces. Matthias let out a low growl and began to make his way to Sophie. He walked with a slight limp. Sophie wasn't sure she should have been scared. What can he do? Matthias placed a sturdy hand on her shoulder once he was close enough, and looked at her with a steady gaze. He pointed at the invisible wall. Sophie gave one space, heading back to Derek and Vincent, and watched as Matthias peeled the creature's skin from off the barrier. It fell to the ground with a wet splat. Matthias hoisted his arm upward and slowly brought it towards the wall. Sophie could see his shoulders rising and falling quickly. As his hand reached the barrier, it was not impeded like Sophie's. Instead, it fell through, the wall greeting the touch of his body with a sweeter, sonorous whistle. Sophie could see his body seize up. Try it. Matthias looked to Derek, a stranger to him, and nodded. He took a trembling step and was swallowed by the flowing fluid force foot that seemed eager to let him through. It sunk its metallic song, and Matthias kept his back leg planted on inside the barrier firmly. Holy shit. What? Sophie approached the wall once again and rested the palm of her hand against its surface. Matthias? Her voice fluttered. He nodded to her. She responded in a sharp, urgent whisper. How did you do that? What? What? That's it. That's literally the end of the fucking game. What? Oh my god, I have a headache. So what the hell happened? I need to know. I have to process it. So we're permanently stuck, and Matthias is the only one who has, like, what? Telekinesis? Chapter 3 is coming, summer 2017. Thank the fucking god. Hopefully, it's already past summer 2017. That was Ultra High Chapter 2. I don't understand anything at all. Bye for now, guys. Bye for now.